Hi. Um, so the lore has kind of been my pet project, slow pet project since summer of 2019. And basically it's just like explaining the world of Cubed Chaos and the network, but with I guess a mythological twist. And so we've got Lux, who some of y'all may know or know. He's the Titan. Or called the Titan in this world. He's the main deity, rules all the world. Moderators are called the Risen. They're demigods, given powers by luck and an object of power, and they all specialize in some type of magic. Helpers are priests and priestesses that can speak with the Risen and the Titan at any time. They don't really have any powers other than the ability to contact them at will. Former moderators are called the Fallen. Many now are gone. There's few that remain. Members are just chaosy, normal beings that go about their business in the world. Kicked members are the lost. Perhaps they will return. Members who left are deserters. They may return if they wish. And band members are the banished. They will never return. So we'll kind of I'll kind of go through and explain each of the Risen. We got Ace, who is the chief. His item is a command block, and he can alter reality. Each of the Risen also have familiars. His familiar is the Vex. Papa Vibes is the Inquisitor. His item is a cane and staff. He does not have an ability or a familiar yet. Tomato is the professor. He has a piston, which some of y'all might have met. Also does not have an ability or a familiar. You can tell I'm great at this. We've got Holly, who's the botanist. Her weapon, I believe, is a hoe.
It isn't a hoe, it needs to be.
It is a hoe.
I don't remember. I think her ability has to do with plants. And her familiar is a cat. The Dryad, Avalon, has a peony/axe as her weapon. She can speak to animals and shape terrain. And her familiar is a wolf. I am the illusionist. I have a staff/trident. I create illusions, and I've got the Arctic Fox. Toby is the preacher. His item is an enchanted book. He controls emotions, and his familiar is the Phantom. Kieran is the engineer. I believe his is the repeater. Does not have an ability or a familiar. Fatal is the synthetic. He's got a music disc. And creates shockwaves. His familiar is scary as fuck. It's the fucking warden. We have the berserker, who is Cry. His item is the axe, and I believe his item is the axe, and I believe his familiar might have changed to a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think we have anything for Vil yet. But
Phantoms.
Oh,
Oh god, the amount of phantoms that are going to be in here is going to be insane. Phantom fight. Hoorah!
I'll just wait till this is done.
Right, so that's how you do it, like. Everyone's just nailed them.
Yep. Yeah, keep going.
All right. So whenever a new risen is chosen, basically when we get new mods, there's a ceremony that happens. Last year I read the, I guess, world origin story. This year I'm going to read the ceremony of the risen. So here we go. When a new risen is chosen, a ceremony is held in order to mark their shift from mortal to divine. Due to the rarity of such an occasion, everything is typically put on hold to prepare. Everything is planned around who the person is. They can't plan based on who they will become. They won't know that till the ceremony. The streets of towns become flooded with the colors usually associated with the person, their favorite flowers, anything that represents them as a mortal. Their favorite foods dominate street markets. The ceremony is a wonder in itself. It's one of the few times the Titan actually shows himself. Of course, he is always there, always watching. He just doesn't show himself unless the occasion calls for it. Naturally, the Chaosi flock towards the capital to watch the ceremony. It usually begins with a procession and presentation of the newly chosen risen. This procession is led by the Titan in the front, followed by the current risen. Bringing up the rear is the new risen, surrounded by a party of those they choose to accompany them. These are the people who present the new risen, in a sense, handing them over to the Titan. Then comes the actual ceremony and some rather boring stuff. The Titan confirms with the new risen that they do in fact want to proceed and gain this new power. There's confirmation that the new risen will not abuse their powers, as others have done in the past. A few more formalities here and there assure that everyone is on the same page before the part of the ceremony everyone really wants to see begins. The new risen stands before the Titan as a cloak is fastened around their shoulders, their back to the audience. The cloak itself varies between each of the risen, almost as a symbol of the powers they are to inherit, and seems to be imbued with magic. A mask is soon to follow, also imbued with magic. The mask covers half of the risen's face, but it doesn't seem as though it'd be possible to see anything out of these masks. There are no openings for eyes, but it seems that they can see just fine through the mask. And they differ for each risen, seeming to take on attributes of their powers. They are then presented with their item and their powers briefly explained. The Titan explains more in depth later on. The Titan holds his hands out over the new risen, a warm orange glow emitting from them. The glow brightens and grows, completely covering the new risen. It would be around this time that the citizens would forget something. What the something was, they would likely never know. As the light disappears, the new risen in their divine form is left. The Titan motions for the new risen to turn and face the people. As they do, the name they will go by as a risen is announced. The name, like everything else given to them that day, is representative of their new powers. The Chaosi don't recognize who this person was, they only see who they are now. The naming marks the official end of the ceremony, and floating lanterns are released, a symbol of the new risen's transition from mortal to divine.
Do we clap now?
Insert claps here.
Yay!
Cheers! Woohoo! Yay!
Well done, Vibes. That's the longest I've ever heard everyone shut up when one person was talking.
I
I had to
know.
mute- I
It
had
only
to
happens
mute
once a
myself.
year.
Yeah.
I had to mute myself to ensure silence.
Well, I love that
Bye.
vibe, so thank you very much.
That was
It was
lovely.
for me.
Take a